Dungeon Crawl Classics D3 here. I'll roll that. I got a 2, so tonight I got Jake. Jake, what happened last time?
Oh man. We started in the dungeon. What did we? I honestly am blanking under the. I'm stressing out.
And then
now.
and then you ended in the dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
well,
dungeon.
we found out something. Did we not? Did we solve nothing last time? I know. We ended up. We fought a carrion crawler. Like this giant monstrous thing was devouring the cultist that we found, which was very sad. But we were able to destroy that by pulling it and roping it into the flesh pit, and that was taken care of. Then we took his robes, and instead of just leaving him his naked, mutilated body on the ground, we decided he would want to be thrown in the flesh pit himself. So we threw the cultist's body into the flesh pit. And then at that point, we had exhausted all of our spells and felt pretty weak. And we decided we're going to go ahead and resurface. I believe is what we decided. So we decided to resurface and head back to town. Then something changed our mind about maybe seeing these farmsteads and investigating the farmsteads on our way back to town. But I can't quite remember all the details. I took no notes last time, so I literally.
Well, we didn't make it back to town.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. For what it's worth, I actually, well, go ahead, Edward.
Well, we did, the only other part to that is that we did travel through the south.
Yes.
And we explored some of that area to the south, and there was a big room with a bunch of skeleton parts piled up that seemed to be ritualistically piled 10 feet high, which we didn't disturb. And then there was another corridor that had a winding staircase that went up, and it came out in a cemetery.
Private cemetery. I forget if it had a special name.
Yeah, private cemetery of the. It came into the sepulchre of the barony. Right. Yeah, and then outside of that sepulchre, when we went outside and we saw that we were in the private cemetery, an ancient cemetery that hadn't been upkept. And is upkept a word? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, then we had a debate of like whether it would be easier to cross overland to get back to town or underland, and we decided to go under the ground. And when we did that, that's when the carrion crawler came, and Derek got his ass kicked by it, and
I had almost forgotten about everything that happened to the sepulchre, but I remember that because we came out of the staircase. Actually, came out of one of the coffins, and then we saw a coffin that had the name of the Baroness on it, and we decided to curiously open it. Hoping that there weren't bones inside, or if there were bones or weren't bones inside, maybe that was a bad sign too, because maybe we're dealing with an undead here. It was filled with a bush monster. We destroyed the bush monster quite quickly, but then there were no bones in it, and we had came to the conclusion that possibly this was just made in the happenstance that she would pass. But we really didn't check the other coffins, since one of them had a staircase and one of them had a monster. There probably weren't remains. In my opinion, there may not have been remains of the other ancestors in the other coffins. There could have been some other secrets to be found there. But we decided we were too weak to attempt such a thing. Our current power as a party was dwindling, and we all just craved rest. So.
Yeah, I think that's true. Log really shined last time.
Kind of came through in a clutch too.
Yeah.
Actually, Blossom kind of shined better than Log did. I remember right. Because we put light on Blossom. Yeah.
So here you all are, and you have awoken on your third day in the barony of Lornedain at the War Mallard Inn, and you are in the village of Lornedain. I'm going to describe again, as the sun rises on this place, the things that you see here, and then you can decide based on your conversations what you want to do. So this day, the third day of Lornedain that you've been here, it's autumn, but it's been a very good autumn week. It's been mild, and it's a nice day outside, although you can feel just the hint of the change of season coming with the coming winter. Something that I forgot to mention is that about 4 years ago, there was an event called the First Winter of Perenval, and something like half of the population of Perenval starved and froze against hordes of monsters in a winter war, as they sought to try to snuff out Perenval before it could rise. And the people of Perenval persevered through that as well. So the preparations for the winter are taken very seriously. That is, of course, perhaps one of the greatest threats to the barony that it faces with these missing people and the threat to trade along the river. Well, anyways, the village of Lornedain, again, is there are 15 different buildings that you see here with a walled portcullis and a trench line. There are waifs jutting out into a flowing river. You could see among the buildings here that there's a guardhouse that you've already been to with its suspicious-looking tapestry, a granary, boatwright, a fishmonger, blacksmith, an apothecary, and a strange domed stone building. That stone building has a moat around it. And you have the businesses along the rivers and streams. There are probably a dozen people out today, and they're out about their daily lives, cleaning game and fishing and working and speaking with each other despite the calamities that their people face. What would you like to do? I'll start
First
with...
thing...
Oh, go ahead.
The first thing I want to do is ask somebody nearby if they know if anybody else has gone missing since we've been here.
You ask someone nearby that you see if they know somebody who's gone missing?
We've been here a few days now, and I want to see if anyone else has gone missing since we've been here.
Well, you ask someone nearby, and no, in the past 3 days, you don't know of anyone going missing, except no one is sure what has been happening with the woodsmen, who do not regularly report and travel in town. Likewise, no one is sure if any of the river folk that live along the river in their community to the south, if they've gone missing, or in the farmsteads. But here in the village itself, no. What about Rex? What do you think?
Thinking we should. I've been thinking about the Arkaji that are apparently just not too far up the stream, upriver, and wondering if we should think about investigating that, or if we should stay focused on our plan to investigate the McEwen's homestead and then back underground. What's everyone think about that?
So what's our goal with going to the McEwen's again? That's what I'm confused about.
Well, they went missing. Might find some clues.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a farm. It's one of the first farmsteads that they came up missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I'm interested in these river folk, but I think it might be. It might take us off our course a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So is that kind of river folk as a sub-quest there, and go investigate the McEwen farm? I think you all were considering checking out the McEwen farm en route to something last time. I don't know if it was continuing in the tunnels or going somewhere else. I can't remember.
I think it's to get us back to the tower, because it's not the most direct route to the tower, but it's in that direction. So we could investigate the McEwen farm if I remember where it's located properly, and then from there we could basically just take an off-road little hustle to the tower and then go back underground. And we could investigate those northern tunnels.
What were you gonna say, Jake?
I was gonna say, something we can do on our way out of town is stop by the fishmonger, because surely they have business with the Akaji, and see if they have any rumors or leads that may connect them to anything else we've learned about this situation here.
Probably not a bad idea.
That could be like how we tiptoe our feet into that water, so to speak, and then move our way towards the farmstead.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
All right, no problem. You head to the waterfront. Let me find precisely where you go. I'll even move your token there.
Log with the massive +1 bonus to charisma checks, definitely the party face. So we'll let you take the lead.
So this is actually the tavern right here, and you can see where people are working along the waterfront. And so all you got to do is head to that area right there, and you see two men working and selling fish, and there is a wonderful smell coming from this place. As a matter of fact, it's not gamey, the fish smell. There are fresh, delicious, like this is just like, all right, this is just my opinion, but what it makes me think of is like, this is like a fresh fish joint, like in Destin. Like this is like a waterfront fresh fish joint. Like, they're selling freshwater clams and boiled crawfish and deep fried fresh fish, and it's all fresh, and it just smells amazing as you come up to the window. And there are two men here. They are
first, but no, let's go with that.
A tiefling and a human. No, I take that back. They are both human. One of which has short cropped hair and lines of stress and age on his face. The other would conceal it even if he had it with a long bushy beard. They both have brown hair with a reddish tint. And as you approach, the one at the window says, "Oi! What would you like today?"
Maybe we should open by buying something, but not too much because we still haven't found any money on this adventure.
I will step up to the window confidently, place a gold piece on the countertop, and say, "The freshest hot gossip you got."
Ah. Well, you have to try the fish first. He takes the gold piece and gleams at it. A gold piece is a lot.
Yeah, and, I might want some change for that.
And so he goes in the back and he.
Can you break a gold, sir?
He goes at the back and he brings out like baskets of fresh fish that have been battered, and I mean, it smells absolutely amazing. And he says, for a gold as well, I could give you something for the road.
We'll take it.
All right. He takes like a bundle, and these are pickled fish, which pickled and smoked and salted fish stacks, so you each get 2 rations for the deal if you want. Anyways, he leans over the window and he says, "What would you like to know?" Wait a second. He looks at your side. He sees that you have equipment on. He's like, "Wait a minute. Wait, don't be coming here and causing any more trouble. I'll call for the guards." Now, you've never seen this person before.
Right.
I believe you're confusing us for these poser wannabe adventurers of Perenval. We've dispatched of them.
They won't be troubling you anymore. And if they do, call us.
Well, all right. I don't want any trouble. I'll tell you whatever you want. What do you want to know?
Mostly just want to know about the Arkaji up the stream. If that's something I lean in, like if that's something people are okay with talking about, you know.
He leans over the window. His well, actually, I guess I got to do this. Nice. Okay. He leans over the window, and you can see his that look of fear and the iciness fade. But also, by the way, Rex, as you well, no, you're tiny. You probably smell.
I'm not tiny. I'm just small.
You probably smell everything that I'm about to describe.
Okay.
Maybe this is Log, though. He's a big boy. Log, you can see in the window from behind him, not only are there is there tons of fresh fish that hasn't been prepared yet. There is bass, sheephead, catfish, gar, and other river fish breeds. And they're all being cut and prepared, and you realize that this restaurant really feeds this town and the travelers that come by. This is the real place to get food in town.
What a bounty you have back there.
Oh, I thank you. And but never mind the fresh fish, you can actually see barrels stacked. And you can see that the perspiration of packing and of where they've been loaded and sealed. And maybe this is probably something, Rex, that you would notice about it from its smell. The very things that you got dried in those bundles have been packed into those barrels. And it's clear that this is a major source of trade, and maybe how they make money is they export fish products.
For what it's worth, Rex has a habit of just kind of clambering up on whatever will bring him to eye level. Makes
sense. You can also see people nearby, by the way, also eating their fish. And this may be breakfast, actually. Well, anyways, the man who has the short cropped hair, he says, Folsa, come here. Somebody's got some questions about your kin. And the bearded man, he stops chopping fish, wipes his head off from sweat, and puts the fillet knife down, comes over. He smells terrible as he takes the brunt of turning this fish into something delicious. And he says, what do you want to know about the river people?
Well, we've only been in town a few days. We've certainly heard some concerning rumors about them, and just looking for another perspective on that. And I think Log was interested in learning more about your trade relation with them, if there is one.
Aye.
I was mostly curious if there's been any situations lately where business might have declined or there been some complications.
It's absolutely declined, in fact. Why, we sell half what we did. It's the villagers. You see, I'm Arkaji. I came here from another world. My people lived on the rivers of another world for centuries, and so we know how to work a river. And you get the sense that he grew the beard on purpose, and his long hair. And he says, "The people here know me, but it didn't matter. When people started disappearing, they blamed my kin, and then half of them stopped showing up to my shop."
Rex gives a thoughtful frown, stroking his scaly chin at that.
Yeah, do we get the idea that this person might have some, like, fish heritage?
Fish heritage.
Like actually, like, some, like, gills underneath that beard that they're hiding?
Not exactly. You can tell that they're human, but as you talk to them, you can tell that beneath the tangled mess of beard and hair, that it's very clear that they have a different, like I don't know, ethnicity, a genetic expression to many of the humans that you've encountered in the Vale. He has a darker skin tone. He has a darker skin tone, thin, shallow features, and bright blue eyes, and freckles, and it's just looks different than what you've seen. But of course, you see people from all over the multiverse, so. Although many come from worlds that have become known to you, like Toril, for example.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he says, I can tell you where you could go and speak with him if you want, but I can tell you that my kin, I don't think they're involved in any of this. They're just like everyone else. We're just trying to get by, especially as the war looms and the winter comes.
So you think it's primarily just that the locals aren't quite so cosmopolitan as we are up in the cities?
He grins. Oh, are you then?
Well, in that regard, certainly. I mean, look at me.
I guess that's true. I heard they had an actual dragon on the council.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
I say knowingly, even though I don't know.
wow. That's
yes,
amazing.
Many things.
The
I
wise
am
counsel
interested
it
in
is,
getting. I am interested in your perspective, sir. And what do you think is where do you think the missing people of the Vale have gone?
I might tell you something that no one else would.
And I'd be interested.
I don't know.
I respect your candor.
I can tell you what everyone else thinks. They certainly fill my ears with every day that I'm out here selling my fish.
Well, aside from reflexively blaming the Arkaji, any trends in what they say?
Well, maybe the one that everyone thinks is a likely culprit is Filthy Pete.
That was going to be my next question.
His shack is still out there, off the roadside if you want to look at it. And then there's some say there's werewolves. Now I know that sounds preposterous, but there are people that have gone missing and their remains sometimes and stains of blood show outside the woods. And the woodsmen are awfully strange about talking about things when they come into town.
Dire importance.
And then, of course, there's the river pirates, and why wouldn't they just capture people? Makes sense to me.
It does make sense. We don't have a strong lead on where they're operating out of. Though it was like a base on a riverbank upriver, I think. Is that correct?
You're asking him in character? The fishmonger?
Yeah, let's say yes. Screw it, I'll just ask.
He shrugs and he says, I've heard sometimes that they move about. I've also heard that they have a mobile ship that they move on and only move at night. Others say they come from foreign lands.
If they have fast ships, they could be anywhere.
Aye, I think so.
Well, then much as they'd otherwise be our next lead, I don't think we have any ability to track them down. So I consider the lay of the land and think about whether we can weave in a visit to Filthy Pete's shack into our existing plans. I'm trying to remember if that was stated where it is.
South of town, I believe.
Yeah, but how far south?
You all in this universe, this is not a... It's weird, I feel like I have to say this. Of course, I probably don't need to, but this is not a gritty, grounded kind of fantasy universe. This is a high fantasy one. And so you do have a map. So he can easily point out to you some things. Let's see here.
Can still see the icon of that fog spell from a couple days ago. No big deal.
Maybe something went wrong. I like to think that.
What did you do?
This is just here now.
I mean, we've stumbled across probably a lot of stuff like that. Like, wizard cast this, but he miscast it, and now it's just here forever. Like, bummer. Guess we gotta go around. If you pinged the shack, I missed it. Perhaps it's inside the.
Oh. No. I will. I'll ping and move. So Filthy Pete's shack is right here.
That'd be significantly out of our way, but we could do it.
And none of this is really out of your way. All of that's like a quarter or a third of a mile away. The whole barony is like 2 miles across. And then
we could stop at. We could go down to Filthy Pete's, stop at his shack, then cut across the fields, hit that farm, which is to the north east.
Yeah. We'll go north along.
And then we can hit the tower and go underground if we have time for all that.
Hopefully. Yeah, so after Filthy Pete's, assuming that nothing too crazy happens there, we can go north to the north edge of that field, cut across the clear area, then straight to the McCallens, then to the tower.
Yeah.
That's probably all we can fit into a day.
If efficiency is what you're going for, Pete's shack is right here, and along the way is actually the McCaywin farm. And then
I thought the McCaywin farm was further.
Yeah, I thought it was the one closer to the tower.
Yeah, me too.
Make sure. McCaywin farmstead. It's just right here along the road to on the way to Filthy Pete's shack, and then this road actually goes to the cemetery that you all came out of, and then it continues on past that to the tower. The cove on the river, where the river people... I'm actually going to move your icon because you won't be able to see it if I don't move you there. But it's actually down here, so it is a bit out of the way, and you'll need to commission a boat to go there.
That's where the Arkaji are located, or?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, I thought they were upriver. They're downstream.
And just as a reminder from last time, there's also this sandbar where 2 people went missing.
Right. That's probably the thing I got mistaken for, the idea of that being a possible pirate base.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines.
But the Akashi and the pirates are 2 different people, as far as I'm understanding. So maybe the sandbar is the pirate base, and the Akashi are down there. Possibly,
but seems more likely they've just got a ship that's just going up and down the river. Could be, though. Can't rule anything out. So for today, though, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think you're going to say what I'm going to say.
For today, though, let's just go to the McCaywins, go to Filthy Pete's, then try to go to the tower to go underground. Because if we start from the tower, that'll bring us closest to the 3 branching northerly tunnels that we were hoping to explore.
The only other significant feature I wanted to point out, there are a few different farms here, but they're still occupied. The unique thing about the McCaywins is they're gone. All of them. Like the entire family, the farmstead's vacant. So that's why someone had pointed you, to that family. But other than the other farms in the area and the tower and the cemetery, the other major feature I would point out to you in the daytime, now that it's day, is there's a windmill, a big towering windmill, in all its glory, still tumbling with the flowing wind. That is one other thing that you see. So, you all want to take the road and then head south to the McEwen farm first?
That's right.
Okay. You do that.
So everyone roll your luck points.
Oh yeah, D4. Thanks for remembering that. I always forget it.
I had already rolled mine.
Nice.
I like bonuses. Ooh. I rolled mine a little earlier, though it just says the party.
Mine, also, I don't remember what it was, but last time I gained +1 luck for something, so...
Yeah, you get an extra luck
you did something
token.
cool at the end of the session.
Yeah.
So, see, I rolled 1, but I had 1, so I just have 2.
Yeah, because you didn't get a luck token during the game for that really super cool thing where you used the bird to distract the monster and then lassoed it, making it slip on your ally's blood into a flesh pond to destroy it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't see a roll, though, or is that the D6?
My roll was up here 45 minutes ago.
Oh, 45 minutes ago. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled
We're
it
way
as
ahead of
soon
the
as I
game.
got- Yeah, I just did it before I forgot.
All right, so 2 for that. And Edward also rolled minimum, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Can't rely on that as much.
No.
Can we
Eldest,
roll for Siebert too? For Siebert?
Yeah, and then why don't you do that, Jake, and then
Okay.
keep track of it, and then
I
you
can
know
do that.
any of you all can say, hey, we want to use.
Because they end
yeah.
at the end of the session anyway, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so you come upon a farmstead. It is overgrown and untended. Its hedges, wild, sprouted with old, faded, branches have jutted out of what was once a well-shaped hedge. And it's covered in brown and graying, fall leaves that have died early in the frost. The crops also, it is just overgrown with grass, and in the wind, its windows on the farmhouse hinge back and forth in places, and you can see parts where it's just started to fall apart. You also see, as you come up on the farmhouse, that there are already very clear signs of a struggle. It looks as if the front door were cut open with an axe, like from The Shining. Even from the outside of the house, you can see from the shattered front door inside of it. And inside of the house, you can see bits of furniture and broken glass laying about the floor inside. What do you do? Next person up is Log. What do you think, Log?
I actually want to offer this idea to the party. Maybe we should actually go ask their neighbor farmer what they think happened or what they heard or any clue, because if they could give us like a detail that, oh, they had a feud with this other family over here, then that we have a target and we have a motive automatically. But I mean, we can investigate here first for the sake of time, but I really think if we want to find out answers here, we might be better off asking somebody first.
Well, as you say, we should investigate first, so let's put a pin in that and think about where the nearest neighbor is, because they could be quite some distance away.
You saw them on the way in. There was actually a house attached to the windmill. Someone tends it.
That's a long ways away, though.
I say there's a structure over here. Is that not another farm?
There is also a farm over there, yes.
That's where we thought was the one we're at currently. I was mistaken.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. It's my turn to act now. I think I would like to, well, I just would like to look around if there is any movement. I want to see if there's any movement at all. Any creatures moving about, any sounds or things coming from the structure whatsoever. And I'm going to slowly approach, I guess.
You take a moment to listen, and you're absolutely certain it's completely still inside, other than the wind. And you approach the house. You can see that it looks as if no one, even an animal, has been in here for some time. Jurek, what do you think? What are you doing?
I'm gonna enter the main house.
Okay, you enter the main farmhouse, and it leads first into the dining room. The furniture has been smashed and shattered in places. There's glass along the floor. It looks
Does it look like they were looking for something?
It looks exactly like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone.
I'd like to instinctively start checking the floorboards.
You start popping some of the floorboards. You can tell that the the crawl space or undercroft, what small space there is for this rustic farmhouse, has already been checked in other places. As you crack one and you can look over and see that someone else had done it and looked underneath. There's nothing underneath the house. You also see that there is something of like an office or like a family accounting or like a study room or something like that. And then there's a master bedroom and a middens.
Does it seem the family records have been searched? Or does it seem more that they were searching for people?
You are up next. Rex. So do you go into that room?
Yes, I investigate that with the primary intent of figuring out if they were looking for items or if they were just looking for people. Because they obviously found people. I don't know if there's another angle. So yeah, if they were like looking for specific records, throwing open small objects or drawers, things of that nature.
Also of note, in the adjoining the dining room, the family/dining room, is a fireplace. The soot and ashes of the fireplace sit long cold. Lumps of things burnt still sit among the ashes. Now, Rex, you go into the study room where there's records. There are still records here, and of some of which, but it looks like most of the family ledgers and account books are all missing. All of them have been taken.
Now that's a more mortal motive. How about cash? That's probably long gone. But I give it a little search anyway, just to see if that's also something they were after, maybe.
Yeah, we are running short on funds.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
You search this area and you find nothing of significant value. All right, back to Log. Log, what do you want to do next?
So briefly, my surroundings. There's we're like in like a kitchen like area or a dining area. There's a fireplace. There's a room which leads to an office. A room that leads to a master bedroom, and middens. Right.
Right. You can see that as it's clear that Durek has already checked. Someone has already checked the floorboards, and whoa.
Sorry, I didn't know I could do that. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I was trying to adjust my map.
To adjust your map, click on the map space with your right mouse button and then hold it, and you can pan it around. If you ever are far off the map, you can just let me know, and I can also pan you. Whoops, wrong one here. I can pan you back because that will happen, stuff like that, and I can just pan the whole group back into what it is, you know.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, and if you ever can't see or something, what's going on, or there's ever a problem with VTT, just let me know, because that'll happen too. You know, somebody will have the vision setting or something will be off. Well, anyways, yeah, so in the living room log, it's clear that someone checked underneath the floorboards, including Durek, and nothing's under the floorboards. Broken glass, shattered furniture, nothing else apparently of value. You see Rex go in and check the study. He's sifting through pages. The fireplace has lumps of things that were clearly burned on purpose, not just logs.
Yeah, I'd like to look in the fireplace. I want to root around, see if there's any of those missing ledger fragments or something like that. There's evidence there.
Burnt paper.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see. So, there's a lot of ash in the fireplace. It looks like a lot of stuff was burned. It's piled thigh high, the amount of stuff in here. As you poke her out and sift through the ash, you find a partially burned leather-bound diary with several pages missing.
Okay. I'll definitely take that.
I will skim it, and then if you... Well, actually, I suppose you take it. Do you want to hold on to it for now? And I assume you tell everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say, just generally, that if you find something, everybody's telling everybody? Okay.
Also, while I'm here, I'd also like to use my mirror and check up the flue and see if there's anything in the chimney.
Right. You look up the flue, and you can tell as well that it's clogged and unclean, and hasn't been tended to in a long time. It's nearly like calcified and petrified. The choked ash that's mingled with the dirt and the elements leading up to the top. A lot of things were burned.
I'll announce to the party that I found a book, and then I will grab assume there's the tools nearby. I'm gonna start cleaning the chimney.
You can start cleaning the chimney. Yeah, but all right. So you took the book and you're cleaning the chimney. Let's see. The next person is Durek. Durek, what are you doing next?
Can I take a look through that book while he's cleaning the chimney? See and read it a little bit.
Yeah, I hand it over.
Okay. Let's see. You unclasp the journal, this leather-bound journal. Part of it has been burned. You can tell pages were ripped out. It's clear to you very quickly that this is the journal of John McEwen, who was the patriarch and the owner of this farm. The first half of the journal is actually thrilling and amazing. This is an account of the adventures of the Baroness and her small army that she led into a far distant land called the Everquiet, in the Magib Desert. Most of the entries describe daily soldiering that he did. But one details an account of a battle against brave desert lancers of the lands of Numida. And one of the pages speaks of discovering a brass flask stoppered with lead and inscribed with a holy symbol sticking out of the sand in a place called the Dark Oasis. And I will not read all of this, because there's quite a bit, but I will pick the highlights only, and then I will post it in Discord later for you all to kind of peruse at your leisure, okay?
Okay.
So, initial part of this Dark Oasis. The eyes of Milady's foreign wizard lit with glee when she discovered the bottle jutting. And we had encamped not far from our quarry city a walled Numidian privateer fortress that had withstood every one of our best plans. That weasel-faced sorcerer spoke quickly to my lady in a tongue I had not yet mastered. She smiled and nodded to him. I replied in his own tongue as she patted the strange vizier on his back like one would pet their prized hunting dog. And he basically, it looks like he describes some kind of supernatural event that occurs when they looked at the flask. And something arose from it. And he says that she looked then after the smoke and the strange energies had fled 10 years younger easily. She then held a closed council with her generals that night. Part 2, the Old Rest. The Old Rest has always been a peculiar haunted place. Now, you've heard it referred to. That is the place where her family crypt is and that you all have been exploring. It's called the Old Rest. It seems to take on a life of its own. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. I've since forbidden the children from playing anywhere near the mound. Keep in mind this whole place is 2 miles across, right? And so the graveyard is probably only a half a mile away at most, maybe even a quarter of a mile away. Okay. Once Grendel and Ailish came home after playing hide and seek among the tombstones with a handful of carnal coins. I've since forbidden them playing anywhere near that mound. I see no reason for them to come into possession of the eyes of the dead. It was a good thing I did. It seems that some adventurer of Perenval stopped by the farm on his way to explore the place for some chronology he was writing for some scriptorium of some lady witch or master mage back in Perenval City. He seemed confident that any tales of danger at Old Rest were nothing but wives' tales. I haven't seen the fellow in over a week, so it seems like this is like years later, right? We went looking for him, but we were turned away by a number of, and then it ends. And the rest of that piece has been burned away. And then pages later, burned and missing. They're hunting for something. I think I know what it is, if my suspicions are correct. I can use this information to my advantage. I should tell Peter the blacksmith and have him come and investigate. And then the entries are also faded and lost. And then lastly, the last entry is written in a nervous scrawl. It seems his hand was clearly shaking when he wrote it. Sadly, what's that?
I just say we lean in.
Sadly, my suspicions are confirmed. I do not think the Seekers suspected this thing to still exist. After what we saw in the mound, I fear that poor Pete will never be the same. I have hidden what they seek. Gods help us if they find it. I gave it to that forester, Kent, to take it to Andragore in Perenval City. If he doesn't, it's no matter. At least the ring will be out of her hands.
I don't suppose we know an Andragore, since we're kind of from, or at least based in Perenval City.
I'm sorry, that should probably say, I didn't edit this, so I apologize. That should probably say, Hayon. Well, I don't have my marker. Hayon, H-A-E-I-O-N. You know that Hayon is the master of your order. He's also known as the Elf Knight, or the Elf Blade. He's the Knight Marshal of the Adventurers of Perenval.
Understood.
You do
But not that elf knight.
What's that?
Not the elf knight from Durek and I's bad part of the backstory, right?
Right. No,
Different
that
guy.
that is a different guy.
Yeah, we'd be in real trouble if the head of our order was that guy.
That guy was Adventurer Percival, the
Right.
ranger, the ranger elf. And anyways, you do not know. You do not know Kent. You don't know Kent, but it says that he's a forester here.
Okay. Well, this is some good information in this.
Yeah. Illuminating, but raises more questions. Seems fair to assume it's probably not the Arkaji.
I would agree with that. I also think that it does lend more credence to the idea that the Baroness is compromised.
Yeah.
From probably this object that they found and brought back, perhaps some sort of djinn or creature that has granted her a wish, or inhabited her, possessed her, perhaps. Any number of these things could be possible, but I think her loyalty
powers or were mastered by them.
And the ring that they're searching for was given to Kent. Is that correct?
Yeah, to bring to the head of our order.
It says the thing they were searching for. So whether or not it's the ring it could be the ring also, but it could also be the flask itself.
It seems like they have the flask that they brought back. The ring might be something connected that perhaps they've been told to get.
What was the entry about Peter the blacksmith too?
Yeah, it seems like it seems as if John McEwen was friends with Peter the blacksmith. And
we know is Stinky Pete, who is missing, also, right?
Right.
Or they're probably not yet Filthy Pete, since he was shaken by his encounter and perhaps let his appearance go disheveled. And we'll learn more about him soon enough. I wonder if there's anything more here we can find.
Well, let's check the bedroom.
Sure.
Definitely taking the journal with us.
Certainly.
Okay. So everybody goes in the bedroom?
Yes.
All right. I'll describe what you see there, and then I'll hand it back over to Rex. I think we're back at the top of the round. You enter the bedroom. You can see it's also in disarray. It looks as if the place were torn apart. You can see something jutting out of the mattress. It looks like partially sheets, but also something else jutting out like sheets. And apart from that, let me see. You can also see a heavy wooden treasure chest in here. It is broken open, and it sits open with its contents exposed. It looks like there are valuable things in the chest. Whatever they were looking for was not these valuables. But you see well, I think these things are probably packed among the chest. Somebody would have to look in if they wanted to. But the chest sits open, and there are contents in the chest that have been left. Now, you can see this is a large chest, a longbow that is unstrung, 20 arrows, and along the wall, a yeoman's breastplate armor, and a long sword that's put on a pale, holding it up. Whoever owned this was proud of what they once were. A helm also sits in a dressing room off the main bedroom on a stand. So back to Rex. What do you want to look at or do?
First off, let's examine. You mentioned that there was sort of an object that was like a shape, kind of intermixed with the broken, torn up bed. So I start by looking at that, and after that, the treasure.
Okay. How do you examine the bed?
Just kind of climb up onto the parts that are still functioning, and just kind of like unsteadily, crawl across it, and just start to like pull things apart from where they've already been ripped open, and try to examine what the weird shape is, or the unusual shape.
You grab it.
Yes.
All right,
Not a monster. Let's find out.
You get on the bed and it creaks. It sounds as if its wooden frame is already partially fractured, but it doesn't buckle under your kobold weight.
Yes.
So you clamber along it. The stuffing of the mattress fills your nostrils, makes you almost want to sneeze, as it's not been tended to in a long time. It's covered in layers of dust. You pull on the sheets, and then you yank and you tear off a page, but you find the rest of the page within. It looks like it was stuffed in here, and jutting out. Somehow someone had missed this page.
Oh.
It says, well, maybe you don't read it, actually.
No, I'm going to read it.
Okay, you read it. All right, it's in common. It says...
roll onto my back, just holding it up like, aha, another page.
It looks like this was probably from the same diary. It says, Peter confronted me outside the trade house today, in front of the children, no less. I wanted to tell him to hold his tongue, lest our plan be undone and our plot discovered. But all I could do was sputter like a fool for fear of raising suspicion, all the while hoping beyond hope he would not reveal our secrets to the entire village. Luckily, he managed to hold from the brink of ruin, but for how long? I hoped after our campaigning I could trust him in our endeavor to get the ring. The things we saw merely brought back worse memories for him, though. I remember well how he couldn't handle the horrors of combat and those things in the Everquiet. Especially the magic, the unnatural. He seemed ill at ease these days. He's clearly drunk. He swears and curses in front of the children. I told the older children to steer clear of his property until this all settles down.
Never did.
Clearly, Pete is suffering from some PTSD from his travelings in the war.
Yeah. So we're definitely getting to the bottom of at least two of the disappearances. Well, if one of those is this entire family, I mean, that's a couple. I hate to speak selfishly, but who's actually posted the reward of this again? Because they might not pay. Because it implicates themselves.
Oh, yeah. You mean if it's the Baroness that has...
Yeah.
I thought we were sent here by the council.
Yeah, we're sent here by the council. I'm just not sure if the who was offering the monetary reward.
The sheriff of the village of Lornedain did also offer a reward if you find any information. It's something like 50 gold pieces off the top of my head, and something was like 300. I'll check later, but it was more if you actually find a person, alive or dead.
I had it written down. Yeah, 50 for information, 100 if we return them, alive or dead.
So that's the sheriff in town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is certainly in the vicinity of some suspicious activity, but maybe oblivious to it. And I think there's another page missing, right? And that could have just been eaten by the fire, but it might be hidden somewhere else.
Yeah, so the next person is Log. Log, what do you want to do?
I would like to take the journal, and I want to put it Actually, I want to cast Cauldron. That's what I want to do. So can I cast Cauldron real quick? Let's
Yeah.
see what I have to double check what I have to roll here. Cauldron tier 1, so it's 11 to cast. My features, I have +1 to spell casting. Okay, so so I just have to get a 10 or higher. So let's do that. You rolled twice.
Looks like you can double one of the effects.
Okay, well...
Yeah, your first roll was an natural 20.
Nice. I'm going to... So, the way Cauldron works is I conjure a bubbling cauldron. Next to me, it can produce one of the following effects. Any broken, mundane items placed into the cauldron is repaired. So I want to take the book and place it in there to repair it.
Wow.
If I get a second effect, I guess I'll just pick a fat croaking toad leaps out and follows your instructions for the next 3 rounds. So
Rounds are not very long. You can do that, but 3 rounds will pass very quickly. Although it'll follow whatever instructions you want to, so I'm not telling you not to do it.
yeah, well, I mean, I can't think of any other effect we need for this cauldron.
Yeah, no
and
problem.
I get to
Yeah.
use that.
Okay.
So a fat bubbling or a fat toad comes out, and I tell it to clean up the floor at the middens.
I just point at it as it hops out. Like, was that supposed to happen?
There's a side effect.
The frog jumps out. The frog jumps out of the cauldron and puts on an apron, and then like walks on its hind frog legs, and then gets a plunger and starts working the middens, and it croaks discontentedly.
Nice.
There's worse jobs. Be happy
Yeah.
we didn't send you to get eaten.
Magically, you have restored the journal with all of its contents. Let me see what pages were
Outstanding.
missing and what things you would know.
That was an excellent idea, Log.
Yeah, I gotta find a list of all the spells in this system because the quick start guide doesn't have them.
That one he's a witch, and it's in the it's a part of the expansion rules. So Cauldron's not in there. It's in I believe the first number whatever it is.
The first Dark Scrolls.
The gloaming.
Yeah,
Cursed
the
Scroll 1.
scrolls. Yeah.
There are 3 Cursed Scrolls test, and the Cursed Scrolls have additional things, so this is one of them.
I know of them. I just haven't bought them.
We did the Viking one. We did like a whole little campaign for 3 months of Cursed Scroll 3. We were just Vikings. That's it. And
Outstanding.
it was so good. I loved it so much.
I watched that first episode actually.
Yeah.
You guys did. Yeah.
Man, Steve and Alex out there. It was a hoot. Okay, let's see here. So clearly, they never made it. Wow, casting the scroll. Let's see. Seem confident that any tells no one. Okay, they never found the halfling Fritz, the Adventurer of Perenval. They went to Old Rest and they were turned away by the mutant toad people. So they never made it down. So what you learn from that log is that Fritz, the Adventurer of Perenval, and his remains are down there somewhere in the sanctum of the mutant toad people. Let's see.
One of those sordid skulls, possibly. Probably.
Yeah, could be.
Well, if he is, it's probably our job to bring him back to the Order.
It's clear in the remaining entry that it is the House of Lornedain that they fear the ring falling in the hands of. And they were trying to conspire together to keep this whatever this ring is. They were trying to keep it from falling into their hands. It looks like the last entry was the one I read, and it is full. So he intended to try to get it to Kent, who he claims is a forester, who would take it to Haon, the Knight Marshal in Perenval City. But then the journal ends, and you know, that's it.
Well, we still don't know what it is, but we know it was important. And we have every reason to believe that he's right about its danger, whatever it is.
We should definitely talk to Pete, and if we can find Kent at some point, that would be, or find out what has befallen Kent, that would be useful.
All right. Is there? Well, I guess, does anybody want to check out the chest? I think that's the only thing else of note.
Yeah, we definitely want to check out the chest.
All right. The next person is Durek. Do you want to sift through it, or how do you want to approach the chest?
I'm actually interested in the armor and the
Sure.
weapon.
Yeah.
Because one, I'd like to know, will that breastplate? Can I modify that breastplate to fit me? I'm kind of a big guy.
Yeah, absolutely. It is plate armor, and you can use it. So it would be like a cuirass, and you can use it as plate if you wish to adorn yourself with it. Including the helmet. It does bear the symbol of House Lornedain on it.
I guess
We can paint over that later. It's fine.
yeah, or I cover
Just
it
a
with my
tabard.
tunic.
Yeah, just put something over
Yeah,
it. You could totally do
Yeah,
that.
put a tabard over it.
You now
Yeah.
have plate armor.
Nice. AC 15?
I could look real quick if
Gee,
you
what
want
is
to.
plate? I don't even know. I have my little handy.
I believe you.
I think it just sets your AC to 15.
Yeah, it's
Armor plate is 15. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then if you get your hands on a shield, it's another +2, and then you add your dexterity on top of that.
Not for plate though.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
really?
Really, what I'd like to do is sort of do sort of half plate. So I don't know what that. I mean, chainmail, for instance, has a 13 plus your dex modifier, where plate is just a straight 15.
Yeah, I mean, you could use part of it if you wish. You could wear some pauldrons and the cuirass only, and none of the side armor or greaves or none of the other stuff, and then just make it 13 plus dex, if you would prefer. But I don't see anything in the rules that says that plate armor does not allow you to use your dexterity. Where does it say that?
Well, I'm looking at the chart on page 34 of the player quick start guide, at least, where it basically suggests that leather armor is 10 plus dex, chainmail is 13 plus dex.
Oh,
and plate
plus
mail is
dex.
15.
That's right. I see. Thank you. Yeah, that helps
that's
me.
That's what I'm looking at too.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
I'm assuming the longbow is no better than mine.
I will offer you, Durek, the if you choose, you can use it as if it were chainmail. If you only want to use it as parts, up to you. You would then have disadvantage on stealth, but you could still swim too. So there's that as well.
Okay, yeah. It ultimately comes out to the same thing with me, without the disadvantage.
You could just swim
no
with
swimming.
one.
Yeah, right.
So.
But ultimately, it comes out to the same 15. So
Okay.
that would be okay. That'd be okay with me.
You got it. All right. The longbow, Rex, is a regular longbow. This is a soldier's longbow. There is 20 arrows. There's also a longsword, and you could sell items as well at the trade house. Although they might notice.
Yeah,
the craftsmanship.
that might be a little sus, so to speak.
Yeah.
Let's not do that unless we get significantly more desperate. On that note, I think I've still got 3 GP. I'm just worried that I'm worried that there might have been another transaction that I forgot to record, but I think I still have 3. So we're good for a little while longer on that regard.
And
the longsword, I may as well take it, because otherwise it's going to go to waste. And I do have.
You already have 2 swords.
I have a flamberge and my. So yes, this would be a 3rd sword. I do have a hauler as my bonus with lots. I still have lots of space on my.
All right.
I'll take the arrows. I haven't actually been keeping close track of how many I've fired.
You got it. All right, Log. What do you do?
I was going to check the rest of the contents of the chest.
They're neatly packed in here. It looks organized. Things are covered and packed away, covered in cloth and things. You just uncover it.
Yeah.
All right. You see a heavy bag. It's clearly full of gold. There are 300 gold pieces in this leather bag. It's a purse of gold. I'm sorry, this is Shadowdark. 30 gold pieces. I had to do the calculation in my brain. 30 gold pieces, which still is a ton.
Still a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, 300 silver.
And there's a silver ring with emerald chips among its inset jewel worth 2 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces. There is also a small chest within the chest.
Okay. Does it look like it's locked, or?
It is not locked.
I'll open it.
Wait,
All right.
You said that was a ring, right?
Yes.
But we clearly figure out pretty quickly that's not the ring.
Yeah, this is not magical. Your friend Sabert can determine that pretty much by looking at it. Anyways, okay, you open the small chest. This small chest you can use as a secure item. You can tell that with its velvet seal that it could also be waterproof for the most part. But it does take up an inventory slot if you choose to use it in that way. It is there is inside a, what do you call it, a thing that you measure maps with, a
sextant?
A sextant.
Oh, sorry, it's sextant.
There's a sextant inside and a partial hand-drawn map of a faraway place. And on the edge of the parchment it says Everquiet. And the city drawn on it is called Curtius. And it is along a coast, and it marks the location of several pirate fortresses.
Wait, pirate fortresses in the... Like in an area that's relevant to here?
In an area called the Everquiet.
Oh, right.
The Everquiet is where they were fighting.
Right, I remember. That's probably not these pirates.
You all have never heard of the Everquiet. Go ahead.
No, we did.
Well, yes, but I mean like before this, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Because also, isn't that where the cultists come from? Like that's part of their whole shtick, right? It's like they were worshiping something from the Everquiet.
Yeah, the religions from the Everquiet, the faith of the Burning One.
Yeah, I apologize. Sabert has heard of them. There was a group of mercenaries that operated off an island in the Devouring Sea, and that is how he had heard of the cult of the Burning One.
Sounds like a long ways from here.
Yeah, we may as well pocket the map, though.
If we got the slots for it, yeah.
The map and the sextant will be one of those items that is does not take up space. The chest, which can be waterproof, with a soft velvet lining inside that could keep something delicate safe, would take up a space.
Oh, that reminds me, I did spend a gold on 2 more oil flasks. So
Gotcha.
I have 2 now. That's what I forgot.
But you would have to go to the store to do that because there's a good reason. But yeah, there's a store in town if you want to go purchase things. No, don't worry, we won't go through all the shopping, but
if I could be
see.
assumed to have done that on a... Okay, I guess I can't. Well, shoot.
About the store. But no, actually, that's fine. You can get 2 old flasks. No sweat.
Okay.
I just want the ring, the gemstone ring. I'd like to place it on Blossom's head like a little tiara.
Nice. It fits, and she loves it.
Outstanding.
Adorable.
Then yeah, I'll probably hand the chest with the sextant map to Durik, who is probably the most responsible here. I would assume. And you said that you could hold more. You're strong back, so I'll hand it to you.
Yeah. I'll take the map and the sextant and stick it in my inner pocket somewhere.
So, my opinion about the money is that if the McKaylins do end up being alive, we'll give the money back and pay for it out of the reward for finding them.
Agreed. I'll also give him his armor and his sword back if he's alive.
Yeah.
All right, you've thoroughly searched the McKaywin house and found their journal and sifted through their items and records and their bedroom.
I check on the middens and see how the frog's doing.
It is covered in old dookie, and it croaks. And Jubal speaks its language because Jubal speaks Frogman, and then Jubal says he says it's going to be a while, and then he disappears because 3 rounds have passed. What is my existence?
I mean, I assume he goes somewhere else. Just like, all right, not my problem anymore.
Yeah,
See you later.
I just assumed he was gonna be here now and just kind of left. Like I couldn't control him anymore.
He shows up back at the frog pond covered in soot. Where have you been?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway,
I can cast a spell again and get another toad, and then maybe we can have him talk to Todd.
So, you all, what do you do next?
Jubal's frog speech has been very, very useful.
Yeah.
I really think we should try to hunt down Kent and talk to Kent directly next if we can. I think that seems pretty urgent. Because
I agree in principle. Do we have any leads on him?
Well, he's a woodsman, and the woodsmen seem to be dealing with something. We found blood nearby. We saw some of them moving north. We know we heard rumors of werewolves. We know there's an orc camp. I mean, there's a whole mess of things to be going on there. But he was entrusted with the ring last, and if nothing else, he might have answers of how we can go about fixing the problem, and what we need to do.
So you think we should abandon our current endeavor in favor of that?
I mean, that's my vote. But I mean, what's the group think?
We're not too far from Filthy Pete's, but I do have to wonder how much more we could really learn there.
Yeah, I personally think that Filthy Pete. I mean, he was a soldier, and he's sad, and he'll probably tell us more about the McKaywins and all the past adventures they have. But I don't know if he's going to know anything, with the situation. I feel like he was just his friend, right? So, but I don't know if we really have any more questions about the McKaywins themselves. It's more about this ring and how we can go about fixing this problem.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're that's probably accurate. However, sometimes out of the mouths of the mad, he might have the piece of information that we need for that connects the barony. Right now, I think we all agree that the Baroness is compromised, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's looking for this ring. She sent her goons down here to bust this place up. They managed to burn the journal and get the ring out of town with Kent. Kent is definitely a person of interest that we want to go after and find. But I do think it's worth stopping by Pete's place, and
he might know where Kent is.
He might know where Kent is. He might know. He might also have the missing piece of information about the Baroness that we don't quite have yet. I think it's worth stopping to talk to him, even if it's only like a, let's do a quick scene, and go have a conversation with him.
Or in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he's right down there.
I think swinging south to try to speak to him, or if he's not there, find out what happened to him, and then try to find Kent. I might need to abandon our efforts at going underground today.
I agree.
Okay, so Pete, and then you guys are gonna head back on the road and head north to try to find the foresters?
If we can, yeah.
All right. So you travel until you get to... you leave the farmstead and travel back along the dusty road until you reach the riverfront again. Let's see here.
As we walk, I kind of muse at how crazy it is that the people who ransacked the house left the gold behind. Kind of, were they like summoned monsters instead with a specific goal, or just fanatics, or did they just not notice?
Yeah, they must have been just looking for that specific thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe this gold is the gold that he mentions in the journal that the kids took from the crypt, and it's cursed gold.
Oh. I don't suppose I could roll my my mage initiate background to try to get a sense of if it's cursed.
What's cursed?
The gold.
Oh, no, it's gold. However, if you want to inspect the gold instead, you can tell that it's not magical. And in fact, it's of a local mint. But you can make a wisdom check if you want. Since you are examining it.
All right. What was that Latin phrase? I forget, but it means money doesn't stink. Oh god, I misplaced the game thing. Okay. I'm rolling wisdom. Straight wisdom. Here we go. Natural 1. I'm gonna use my luck.
Go for it.
On that, even though this is probably not too important.
Nice.
20.
This is a mint that is old. It was minted in the times of the Republic of Perenval, the polity that preceded the Kingdom of Perenval. That it is a common coinage, but by no means ancient. What this tells you is that this is part of the spoils that were given to him as an adventurer that was led into the Everquiet. This was his payment. He seems to have never spent part or all of it.
It's just being frugal.
Perhaps. But anyways, so you travel...
What was the name of that kingdom again? My apologies.
Everquiet. You travel along the road until you get to the riverfront, and you see a shack. You can see from outside the shack, it is all ruined. It is just destroyed. The remains of a forge, a turned over anvil, handfuls of blacksmith's tools that have been scattered about, a intact mule cart that is empty, and mules left to wildly graze nearby in a fenced-in pasture on the river's edge, and the shack itself.
Guess he really is missing. Let's investigate the shack. Or whose turn is it?
Yeah, so I think that we're back to the... Am I right? I think we're back to the top. Yeah. We are. So, yeah, Rex, what do you do?
I survey the area and just head right into the shack. Just boldly trying to get to the bottom of this.
Okay. You head into the shack. The door, it creaks lazily on the hinge. It doesn't even entirely cover the entrance. For a blacksmith, this is a poorly put together thing. And you see along the wall as you enter. So, on the outside of the shack, but as you approach that door, there's a letter stabbed into the wall, splattered with blood, spotted with sooty fingerprints. It says, "How dare you threaten my land? After all I've done for this community, your greed, Yemen, is your undoing. While you are suffering everlasting torment, you and your family shall know the folly of trying to take what is rightfully mine."
Well, that doesn't bode well.
Not at all. It said your greed, Yemen?
Yeah. It seems to be addressed to it seems to be addressed, I think, still nonetheless, to Pete, and you can make an intelligence check if you want. This one is difficult. You'll have to do a difficulty class 17 intelligence check. See anything else about this letter?
I'll give it a shot. Nope. Do you think this was worth another luck token? We're gonna need those later. I'm kind of leaning against this. Might really need that in a clutch.
Yeah.
If it's shared with anyone else can of course do it as well, and etc.
I guess we could steal one of Sabert's. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure. Or actually, right. or
Jubal.
Huh.
Jubal is a wizard, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to have his own intelligence. Maybe he could give his own roll.
All right. Jubal. Let me find him. Here he is. Oh, it was never updated. I'm just going to guess that he's got a +2 because he's a wizard.
Ooh.
This letter is confounding.
Yeah, I'm just... but anybody else can examine it if they wanted to.
I mean, I'll take a stab at it. No pun intended. Let's see. An intelligent roll, you say? That's not my strong suit. Obviously. Let's see.
Like, how bad are we talking? It wouldn't have mattered either way.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that the letter is not in the same handwriting as the journal, right?
Good question.
You don't have to roll an intelligence check. Instead, you get a luck token. Yes, it is. It's written in an elegant and flowing writing, not the pen of a commoner. Though still hastily and written in anger.
So yeah, this is from the Baroness, and she's mad at him for something.
That sounds about. That's our best guess.
Or the Baroness's toady wizard that she stroked lovingly.
I did say that. That is fair to say.
His words, not mine.
I did say, yeah, that's true.
True. Got you there. And this is on a piece of paper that's stuck there. At first, it sounded like it was etched into the wall.
It is etched into the wall as you go in. Like on the there's the door, and it's right next to the door. It's a little missive that's been stabbed into the, to the left of the door before you go in the shack.
Gotta be real mad to do a flowery carving.
No,
It is still paper, right? It's just
yeah, it's
stabbed
paper
into the wall.
stabbed with a blade, I imagine, into
Yeah.
the wall. It's not a carving into the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
What's
okay,
what's that dagger look like that's stuck into the wall?
does it look like an Adventurer of Perenval's dagger?
That would be... that probably would have been the first thing we noticed. But, good question.
It's a good quality dagger, but, you know, common.
Anyone need an extra dagger?
I am out of inventory slots.
The wizards, I'll just throw that out there. They can throw them. So there's that.
Ooh.
Let's give it to Sabert.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. The next person up is Log. Do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, I want to look at the forge and see what it looks like the last thing they were making was. I assume it was like interrupted in the process.
Yes. I can tell you what they weren't making. It's been cold for a long time. He has not had work in a long time, even before this. But even when he did, he didn't make weapons. He made nails, hinges, tack.
So is there any material or anything in the forge or nearby it? Or is it just like cold coals?
Yeah, it is. It's been cold for a very, very long time. It looks like even the forge hasn't really been touched. That it was sort of torn apart needlessly, really.
Right.
The metal probably wouldn't have been of outstanding quality if he was making nails. Still, respectable work, a man of the people, I suppose.
Are there any tongs nearby with all the tools strung about?
Are there any what?
Tongs.
Yeah, absolutely. You want some tongs?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up some rusty old tongs.
You got it.
So I have something to touch things without touching things.
Good idea.
Nice.
Likewise, does he have a blacksmith's hammer lying about?
Yeah, absolutely. The
Be a
fabled
walking
hammer
arsenal.
of Shadowdark. A common
Angling for
hammer.
that fourth
right.
weapon.
That's right.
You got it.
I'm gonna pick up the hammer and put it in my. I still have gear slots, believe it or not.
Yeah, it takes up a gear slot. It's a hefty hammer. You can use it as a weapon for D4 damage.
Ideally, we'll eventually find some more loot that we'll need you to carry, but alright.
Yeah, I can always drop
Another
the
that fourth
hammer
weapon.
or the extra sword. I know it's ridiculous at this point. I've got like 2 giant swords and a regular sword, now a hammer.
Eventually,
That's
we'll
the
have to drop the hammer.
I mean, eventually. Oh, good points.
So the last a question I have is, in the shack, there's no like cupboards or cabinets or anything where any other possessions would be stored over. Let's make sure we're not missing anything.
Sure, yeah. No, totally. Yeah, you search the shack, and you find nothing else of value in the shack.
Okay. Alright, well, on
All right,
to
my
see if
bad,
we can
fellas.
find
This was a bust.
Got a dagger, but we lost some time, so let's get moving.
I suppose I should note as you exit the shack and you look out, because it faces the riverfront, okay? You do see that there are hoof prints along the sand and mud and wheel ruts that come and go toward the riverbank and then on back to the road. But beyond that, yeah, you all went to
Wait, do you guys think that Stinky Pete was abducted by the river pirates? Because it's not far from the river. Oh, I guess that's like Haji, not the pirates, is it? On this side.
Well, it's not far from the Arkaji, but we don't think it was them. Unless we've been deliberately misled.
Well,
It could be that he was transporting stuff down to the river in this cart.
so what's the letter say again? How dare you, with your greed?
Your greed, they calls him a yeoman, I guess?
It says,
Yeah, I meant-
how dare you threaten my land after all I've done for this community? Your greed, Yemen, is your undoing. While you are suffering everlasting torment, you and your family shall know the folly of trying to take what is rightfully mine.
Pretty dire.
Did
What?
Pete have family? Was this
Yeah.
letter intended for the farmer?
We don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Pete himself seems something of a solitary figure. We only see living quarters for a single person here, right?
That's right.
Maybe they're brothers or something. Not more than dear friends.
Good point.
But-
We don't know the relationship.
But regardless, we really need to go find Kent.
Very well.
Yeah. Let's double time it north.
Yeah. Burning daylight.
Can we take these mules? That'd be faster than walking, or would it just be faster to walk?
You want to hitch the mules to the cart and drive the cart on the road?
I mean, would that be faster?
It would
Or
not be
would it-
faster. The benefit that you would gain if you had, it would actually probably be slower. But what you would
Okay.
have is a cart that you can put things in.
No, but we'll keep that on the back burner if we need to move stuff.
All right. You head back out onto the road. It is now afternoon. And you travel the 2 miles. I assume you're going back to where the wood camp was, right? That's the plan?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Now, as we're traveling, we can discuss this, but the information that we gained...
Is that me? Oh, God.
Well, that's a lot of something.
Never mind that.
The information we gained early on was that the woodsman would go into the keep at night for protection. Is that didn't we gain that information?
Yeah, we did hear that,
Oh man.
but that could get awkward. But fortunately, it's not night, so they
It
shouldn't be.
could
there.
be connected to the rumor of werewolves too. Just put that out there. If they're going to the keep at night to, keep that secret safe.
Possibly.
Anyway, regardless.
You discuss this as you pass the place that you came in 48 hours ago now. You see it is now late afternoon, and you see the past the moat, the jutting stone imposing castle of the barony, and the log campsite where you saw the stains of blood, and in the distance, and yeah, perhaps there's some sort of strange spell effect here where the weave is interacting weirdly, but because he did lose a spell back there, so maybe that's something's going on. But in the distance, you hear no clamoring, you hear no, yells of orcs. You instead simply see the rising smoke of fires. You think that they're likely campfires or cooking fires. And
Could have Blossom do a double check. What do you think of that?
That's a good call. Yeah, I'll send Blossom that way to scout, and then they can report when they come back. Assume it would take some time for that to happen.
Ooh.
okay, yeah, do you do that while you keep moving? She's a lot faster
Yeah.
than you. Okay, so yeah, you keep moving, and Blossom comes back and she says, "They've built a wood fort.
Who are they?
About
Orcs,
20
right?
20 orcs. A tribe of orcs has built a wood fort out there."
And were they alone?
Yes.
Hmm.
And here
I
we-
pat her on the head.
I think we
was
should
wondering
go
if we
talk
should
to
just-
these orcs.
I mean, you are partially their kin. I assume that you could do so if you so choose.
You could do the
You-
talking.
Yeah, you want to go do that now on our way to see kin?
Well, I mean, I think if she saw
It's a bit out of our way. Let's talk to the
let's-
woodsman
let's-
first if we can.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Just beyond the wood line, you can see clear trails. This is a little too spook. Well, no, this is good actually. Just beyond the wood line, you see clear trails leading into a campsite. You can hear the murmuring of various voices and the rising of a campfire. It doesn't seem like anyone notices you so far. What do you do?
Yeah, I no particular need to be sneaky, but since we just happen to have, I guess I'll peek around I'll peek around a tree in a ranger-like manner to see if anything obviously weird is going on.
You peek and you just see workers about a campfire preparing for a chilly evening. One thing that is obvious is it seems they have no intention of leaving the site. They seem to be preparing to sleep here and set guards for the night.
All right. In that case, I just step out and give a little wave. What ho!
Does everybody go with, or is it just Rex?
I will back him up.
Yeah, I think we all go together.
All right.
Good afternoon.
What news, good rangers? Good woodsmen.
Let's see here. As soon as you break the wood line and come out close to the camp, several of them raise hunting bows and axes towards you, and one of them are like, "Is it them? Is it them? Should we fire? Everybody come here!"
Oh, none of
And they
that. None of that. Everyone's friends here.
And yeah, they all like have weapons and stuff, and they all kind of like.
Shit.
So several of them like get others' attentions, and they come out of the tents and stuff, and they stop what they're doing, and some of them point, and they go and they guard the other way just in case they're being surrounded.
Can I? Are we still in turn order here?
Yeah. So let's see here. Who was the last person to act? I apologize. I think it was Rex, right? I think we're at Log. Yeah, Log. Go ahead.
I'd like to draw out the journal, and say we're friends of John's. We're looking for Kent.
Kent. You're friends with Kent?
We're friends of John's. We're looking for Kent. He was mentioned in this journal, and I kind of waved the book.
John's a murderer. One of them's held back as the like somebody holds someone back as they try to charge towards you when you say that, and but they hold him back, and then somebody else comes forward, and it's a man. He comes out and he says, "Oh there, my name's Beard. I'm the leader of the Foresters, a logging company of Lornedain. What brings you out here?" And then he looks at you and he's like, "Look, we don't have any money. We don't have any valuables. We're just trying to survive out here."
Sake of the gods, man, we're not here to rob you. We're adventurers from Perenval.
You adventure... Oh dear, I see that. Yes, you are adventurers of Perenval.
We're here to investigate the disappearances.
Oh,
And we're looking for a man named Kent.
I'm relieved. I too am looking for a man named Kent. He's a good friend of mine. Kent Canar. He's been missing for weeks now.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
I'm
What's your
When's the
sorry.
best
last
guess?
time you saw him?
We were logging, and I heard screams. They were dragged off into the wilderness by something. Kent and his friend Thawd. Look, I am happy to see you, and I know that Adventurers of Perenval, noble and everything, but I also know that you get paid for what you do. I'll pay you all of our earnings, 100 gold, if you can find them.
You say they were dragged into the woods several weeks ago?
Yes. I don't suspect they're alive, but if we could get their remains back to their families, it would be worth it to us.
What was it that dragged them off? Was it frog people? Was it furry things? Or were it orcs? Or...
Now, that's the other thing. I'd like to know what's out there. I don't want anyone else to disappear, and... well, we haven't been allowed back into the keep.
Is that right? That's unusual, yes?
I think it's the villagers spinning rumors about us. They've never trusted us, those of us who live out here in the forest lands.
Perhaps not, but the ones that we spoke to seem to think that you did lodge in the keep. So they don't seem to be aware of this change in arrangement, at least when we last checked.
That's strange.
Oh, that's unusual.
It
is strange. First. It is strange. It's certainly grim tidings for the area. We keep finding more and more signs of unusual circumstance in the governance here.
Well,
how do you feel about that?
If you're willing to search for them and find out what happened and what's out there, we'll point you to where they were taken.
I look back to the others. I'm like, do you think we have time to just head that direction, see what we find?
Can we ask them more questions first? Because I really am curious if we just showed them this journal, what information they could tell us.
I
would
don't know about
I would
that.
caution against that.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why?
Full of a lot of weird stuff.
Well, what information are we trying to hide from them? I think
they've accused John of being an enemy.
They said he had murdered someone, but I mean, he was also in service of the Baroness. So if that was the case, he probably murdered a lot of people, and we don't know what happened between him and Peter. If Peter truly did go mad, then maybe some altercation happened there.
I understand, man, but think of what you just told us. Think of the kinds of things that we would be telling them about, and how that might interact with their preconceptions. I say under my breath, where they only notice some muttering among ourselves.
Like, what was that?
We're just discussing the various evidence that we found so far.
Well, look,
we're not from around here.
I can tell you what has been happening to us, other than a few weeks ago when we lost our friends. It's been hard times for us. Now look, being a forester on these lands is not an easy thing. We're part forester and part warrior, frankly, part hunter of the wilds of monsters. To live in forest in the Vale is to face monsters. And beyond that, we did have a relationship with the barony long ago. We're an independent forest company, and we trade with Perenval City and other cities and surrounding the land strike to the north and other places. So, Kent, he's our traveler, and Kent and Thawd, and that's why they were separate from us, and they're often traveling to work out deals for lumber. To arrange for transportation, and anyways, once
so Kent is your emissary.
Yes,
and a scout.
And once people started going missing, a bunch of those backwater hoodlums from the village all came out and like they were going to attack us, and they were dispersed by the men-at-arms from the barony. Why, we thought the barony would take our side. We're innocent and we didn't do anything. But instead, they said that we'd also have to stay away from the keep, and that we'd have to fend for ourselves from here on. In fact, I was going to send Kent back to Perenval City to lodge a complaint about the Baroness. We're unable to even do business here anymore. Never mind not even receiving the basic help of guarding the roads and the pathways through the forest.
Well, if he had, he would have run into the same ambush we ran into.
Ambush?
Yeah, we've put up some signage to hopefully warn people. But there's frog monsters out there.
Frog monsters? Oh, God.
Or I turn to the others like, is it toads? I think it's toads.
He actually turns back to his company. He's like, all right, look, everyone. We've got some Adventurers of Perenval here. As soon as they wise up that they might as well leave this barony to its fate, we'll be following them out of here. We're done. We're done lumbering here in the barony. They all mutter and, and, yeah.
I don't think I don't think we could, if they ask us to do that, we can't really refuse. It would be our duty to protect you on the way there.
Before then, though, let's go ahead and try to investigate.
Yeah, but we haven't given up yet. And we don't intend to, but we can't guarantee success either.
Well, in the meantime, we have nowhere to go, but if you agree to help us, you have a place to stay out here. I don't know why you would stay in the wilds, but we'll share what we have with you.
I thank you, friend.
Are you aware that there's about 30 orcs just north of here that have
it looks like oh, go ahead, sorry.
East,
but that have built some sort of defensive wall in the woods north of here?
We'd spoken to them. It looked like something had driven that orc tribe out this way from the east. But what that tells me is that the monsters are getting worse.
We were worried about the wrong thing on the way in.
Is that the same direction that Kent was last seen getting dragged to?
No, he will tell you, and you have a map, so I will point it out. At this point, it is early evening. Let me find it.
Cursed time.
Give me just a moment, please.
While he's doing that, as a sidebar, if I may step back, log my apologies about the whole journal business. I didn't mean to step on your idea. I think we just should be cautious with who we share what information with.
Much of what's in the journal might be considered treasonous, perhaps, in these areas. And if not, it might imperil anyone involved.
All right.
That was my only that was my only reason for caution.
I'll drag your token just so you can see. They point back to this place where you had initially seen signs of a struggle.
Damn, we saw that. All right. So my thinking is that we change our plan, do as they say while we still have a sliver of daylight.
Agree.
Okay. We tell them that we'll try to investigate right away, and if the trail's that cold, we can't guarantee anything, but we will try.
He shakes all of your hands.
I give him a surprisingly firm handshake. Strength 12 kobold.
Gods be with you.
And with you, sir.
All right.
I'm gonna give him the extra sword that I got.
Good idea.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah,
I'm just going to say may this serve you and your men well.
he tries to swing it around clumsily for a moment, and he's like, "I think we'd do best with axes and bows, but I thank you for it. We'll use anything we can get."
I hope it helps.
All right. At this point, it's been most of the day. All right.
Let's do what we can with what little time we have. This assails us with his hours.
You see a clearing, and you see broken crocks, moldy remnants of a wheel of cheese. As before, you remember that there was dried blood and a well-oiled wooden axe tossed among the underbrush. It smells as if the crocks were cooking strongly overproofed rum. It hangs inside of the shattered crocks, wafting into the evening air. And you can see tracks leading northwest into the wilderness. As before.
Rex, what do you make of these tracks?
I think that I rolled well on that before, but all I really discovered was that there was dried blood, signs of a confrontation, and signs that someone had been dragged this way, which is what we know well by now. Perhaps I could assess it again and see if I can learn anything else now that we know that. But if nothing else, we could follow that.
Right.
And
yeah.
while he's doing that, for the sake of time, I'm also going to point them out to Blossom and tell her to scout ahead.
Blossom, yeah, she tries to scout ahead, but she runs into a bit of a problem. The thickness of the forest canopy proves difficult, where she claims she would need to spend some more time away from you and actually light further into the forest.
Okay.
If you
Can I roll intelligence on that? On the like the tracking?
No need. You can see that it's, I mean, what would you want to know? But it's human blood. There are stains along the ground. Same things I'd pointed out last time, and they head into the wilderness.
I don't think that... The only other thing I'd want to know is what kind of creature or person was doing it, or if they were both human.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You could indeed make a wisdom check or an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay.
All right, yeah. It was something lupine in nature. You can see fur that has been pulled off by nearby briars, and paw prints. But
was
they were
werewolves.
very large, yes. Sorry,
Or
Log.
something that...
What were you saying, Log?
Nothing, I changed my mind.
Okay. Let's see. Jurek, do you want to do anything here?
Only suggest that we follow these tracks into the woods.
Yeah.
Very well.
All
Wish
right.
we had more daylight, but we don't.
You, if you enter the wilderness, it is the Shadowdark.
Oh, that's a random encounter.
Oh, is that what that means? I wasn't sure if that was roll. I mean, I just wasn't sure if you roll high or low on that.
Oh, I mean, it is 1 and 6, so technically, I guess you could change the roll to be whatever you want, but
Well,
as per the
see how it
rules,
goes.
the 1 is the number.
I mean, the music seems ominous.
But that's just Ross's games in general.
I mean, if we get attacked by werewolves, that's almost as good as finding them.
Yeah.
It-
I just don't feel too good about a battle against a werewolf.
Right. We don't have any magic weapons anyway.
Ugh.
All right. Rex and Log, please roll a intelligence or wisdom check with advantage.
All right. There we go.
14.
16.
16. All right.
Do I have a moment to mix up one of my alchemical effects to give me advantage against werewolves?
Yes, you can do that.
All right, I do that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go ahead and light a torch.
Okay, maybe it's because of what you all sense, because both of you sense this, and everyone else, Durek and Sabert and everybody, you suddenly see Log and Rex launch into action as Log quickly tries to light a torch in the darkness of the forest canopy, and then you hear growling in the wilderness, and that's where we will end the adventure for the night.